Which movie would have been way better if it had a sex scene? A Quiet Place. I want to see them having sex while consciously avoiding clapping sounds. Jude Law and Rachel Weisz had a good one like that in Enemy at the Gates. This may sound super odd, but I find Jude Law's acting in that scene to be one of the most impressive parts of that moment. Cars would answer some questions. Dude. She's only a 2017. You want to end up on the sexy fenders list? Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Patty cake, oh God. In the book, there's apparently some explanation about how toons cannot have sex, but things like Jessica Rabbit's patty cake scene were the closest they could get. So Jessica was, in toon terms, cheating on Roger. The movie very strongly implies that patty cake is sexual and that she's cheating on Roger. From the sexy noises, to the trope of the pie taking snapshots, to Roger being driven to drink in the next scene. Playing patty cake is also an old euphemism for sex. Spider-Man, No Way Home. The sexual tension between Spider-Man and Spider-Man was off the charts. All three of them tingling their tingles? Take my money. Their hands are always sticky. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Redditors that keep pointing out sex scenes that occurred in the movie, they were only implied or after the act. Good luck with your implied sex life. It's literally right there in the title. This threads made me realize Disney has a whole new market they could tap into. Disney X. They could keep the same intro for their streaming service and just have the plus fall on its side after it gets into its usual place. Somebody get this man a job in marketing. The Incredibles. With her flexibility and his size, it would have to be incredible. She was the only woman that Mr. Incredible could have sex with without worrying about crushing her. She might not get crushed, but Hess still gonna smash. I'll get there when I get there. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Zoot, in the castle. Maybe just a little peril? No, it's too perilous. Way oh. Shit. Cast Away. Wilson. I'm sorry. Oh no, what are you doing, Step Wilson? The Mask, 1994. There's a scene where he pulls a used condom out of his pocket, so the mask canonically ducked at least once. Doesn't necessarily have to be his condom. Could just be weird. Thunder Gun Express 4, Maximum Cool. The man doesn't even hang dong, and also I didn't get the plot. All we asked for was full penetration. Then back to crime solving. Then back to penetration. Crime, penetration, crime, full penetration. This is one of the weirdest threads I have seen. I invite you to join Afraid Tosk. Stupid questions is where it's at. Big Hero 6. We all wanted to see the ant get her back blown out over that counter. I would like to add that in Wreck-It Ralph 2 there is a pop-up ad for single moms in your area and the picture is Aunt Cass. Wreck-It Ralph 3, Ralph Wrecks It. The Lion King. Nala was definitely giving Simba those eyes in the jungle. Shrek. Especially to answer the question on how Donkey and Dragon bang to have kids. I like to think Donkey just crawled his way inside her vagina to reach her womb, then busted one. Toy Story. Sex toys were totally underutilized in that movie. I've Got a Friend in Me. Star Wars Episode 5. It would make Episode 6 more interesting. Lamau, can you imagine Luke processing that shit? On a scale of Game of Thrones to Old Boy, how do you think he would respond to that news? Tatooine is a backwater planet. Toy Story. Andy's mom deleted Scene 4. You Got a Friend in Me. Andy's mom, probably. Sex toys are toys too. Now I want to see Woody and the gang meet a group of dildos and vibrators. Wally and Eve going hammer to Sprocket. King Kong. It also would have provided a satisfying conclusion in Godzilla vs. Kong. Crossing over. A long sex scene of Alice Eve was cut out. www.moneyintolight.com 201304 An interview with Wayne Kramer Part 2.html #X200B. Was your version more sexually explicit? Yeah. A big sex scene between Alice Eve and Jim Sturgis didn't make it into the movie. The sex scenes between Alice and Ray Liotta were way more explicit than you see in the final movie, including full frontal nudity from Alice. I was really upset that we lost a lot of the dialogue in the scene where they negotiate the terms of their deal. Once Alice's character realized the bind she was in, she tried to protect herself by telling him what sexual acts she would and wouldn't do. For example, she wouldn't put a bag over her head, she wouldn't do certain kinky acts, etc. They cut out all that interesting dialogue. Harvey was constantly trying to make her character more sympathetic, and I thought it was a mistake. Jurassic Park. Clever girl. Spy Kids, and no, not because of the kids. Antonio Banderas and Carla Gugino probably have sex that would make gods jealous. God, what a double whammy of hotness. Antonio Banderas movies tend to be bisexual awakenings for many people. Take The Mask of Zorro for example. Howard the Duck. Man, that scene really stuck with me when I was growing up. B-movie. You like jazz? Saw. Kinky. Despicable Me. Massive yellow group sex. How to Train Your Dragon. They don't call her Astrid for nothing. I'm obligated to say Zootopia. Emoji Movie, does it really need one? No, would it be mathematically speaking infinitely more enjoyable? Yup. The Room. Oh wait, it did have a sex scene. In fact, it had two. The exact same scene, twice. So anyway, how is your sex life? Repetitive, allegedly. Coyote Ugly. Sorts by controversial. Star Wars. Luke Leia. The line, Luke, at that speed will you be able to pull out in time? Will have a whole new meaning, and then 2 movies later, they find out. Frozen. Makes a nice, smooth 7-inch dildo made of ice. The cold never bothered me anyway. Though funny thing is she can make living beings out of ice and snow. So Black Widow. I mean, they aren't really sisters. Batman #X200B, all of them. Big Six, or whatever the movie was called. Back to the Future. Well, I did do the nasty and the pasty. Oh, a lesson in not changing history, from Mr. My Own Grandpa. The Life of Pi. Spider-Man No Way Home. At May solo scene please. Ice Age. Squirrel finally gets his nut. Cars 2. Legitimately. The Hunger Games. The books, too. That entire series would have been better if intended for an adult audience and not ya. The X-Files movie. You know what movie would have been better without a sex scene? That stupid hot dog movie with Seth Rogen's voice in it. What's it called? Wiener Roast or some shit. Underworld Evolution. Top Gun. That movie has so much homoeroticism, I feel a sex scene involving Iceman plowing Maverick hard would actually make it feel less gay. Would have paid good money to see Megan Fox vs. Vibertron in Transformers. Optimus Prime could have been his anagrammic alter ego Moisture Pimp. Sucker Punch. Avatar. Twilight. Would watch it for that only. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.